Industries such as Monsanto Corporation actively participate in a controversial act of corporate lobbying. According to opensource.org, Monsanto Corporation in 2012 reported giving donations of $5.97 million, while giving $1.33 million to hired third-party corporations to lobby on its behalf. The unethical actions of corporate lobbying have consequently led to the legalization of major companies not being liable for harm done to U.S. citizens by their genetically altered products. Corporate lobbying has altered the views of government officials. They no longer work for the good of the people, rather in support of those who donate towards their elections. I will list the problems of corporate lobbying and why it is unethical. The causes in which affect our government and the citizens. The solutions in which the citizens have to organize a plan to stop the unethical buying of government positions. So, the problems of corporate lobbying in America. Two things. You have tax breaks for major corporations, and you have politicians serving the good of the corporation rather than the people. So according to the American Journal of Political Science, by increasing lobbying spending by 1%, your corporation can receive tax breaks on the corporation's tax returns. For example, if you donate $100 this year, and next year you donate 1% more, so $101, and say a corporation made $50 million, and they pay 50% tax. Their tax break would mean that they pay 48.4% tax, meaning they save $800,000 off that mere 1% increase in donation. So, politicians serving the good of the corporation rather than the people. I'm going to talk about Monsanto. Monsanto Corporation is a leading bioengineering company that specializes in GMOs, which is genetically modified organisms, and GEs, which is genetically altered seed, or genetically engineered seed. They own several monopolies in terms of seeds, meaning farmers legally have to use their processed seeds. After the president signed the bill, the H.R. 933, or the federal budget bill, on March 26, 2013, Monsanto Corporation is now legally able to plant, harvest, and sell genetically altered seeds or genetically altered foods to citizens, knowing it's potentially harmful or dangerous to their health, and can do so without liability. Basically, the government now protects the only supplier of the seed from the courts, even if Monsanto knows it is harmful to people. After addressing some of these problems of corporate lobbying, let me introduce you to the causes and effects of corporate lobbying. So what causes politicians to be reliant on corporate spending? The first is increase in cost of elections. Now, in the year 2000, the congressional and presidential election costs combined is $3.1 billion. Okay? In 2012, the combined cost was $6.3 billion. That's double in 12 years. Every year it gets more expensive to run a campaign. Now I'll break it down I'm going to break down some of the costs. According to Time magazine, the cost of a half hour of television time while running, if you just run 20-second ads over the span of half an hour, it will approximately come out to $400,000. In California alone, if you want to send one statewide letter, it will cost $700,000 due to postage. Mind you, they send on average 2 to 3 letters. So another effect of lobbying is favorable government regulation. Again, we're going to use Monsanto Corporation as the example. we can see that corporations investing in congressmen and congresswomen will receive favorable legislation. As I mentioned before, as a corporation, if you increase your donation by a mere 1%, you will receive a tax break on your company's tax returns. So what can we do to solve these problems? One is reform of unlimited corporate donations. As of right now, corporations are allowed to donate up to a certain amount, but are allowed to hire independent third-party lobbying groups to lobby on their behalf. Once again, I'm going to refer to the Monsanto, as I came back to, where they donated $5.97 million in their own lobbying donations, and then on top of that, used $1.33 million to hire third-party lobbying groups to lobby on their behalf. A possible solution: put a maximum cap on campaign donations, while not allowing those corporations to hire third-party donators to lobby on their behalf. And the second solution is to reform the Ethics Board Committee. Now, if point A is found to be unconstitutional, let the Board of Ethics that oversees our government officials take a harsh stance on lobbying and enforce punishments. For instance, as I mentioned, the bill, H.R. 933, or now named the Monsanto bill, was found to be slipped into the federal budget bill, and the congressional who wrote it is known to be heavily financed by the corporation Monsanto. Now, is it a questionable conflict of interest, or at the very least, it's pretty shady ethics? So, corporate lobbying, although legal, is shady, unethical practice that allows our government officials to be paid and influenced by major corporations. It has a lot to do with increased cost of elections, but the effects mean that our politicians are supporting the interests of corporations. There are several solutions ranging from reform of the law to the reform of the ethics board. What the average citizen can do is limited, however. If you are interested, as you should be, look for groups online that support the same ideas that you hold. Let me leave with this. It is easy for your message to get lost amongst 1,000 voices, but it's easy to be heard when you have a single message backed by a unified voice of 1,000.